So yesterday I trained my chest and my back, and I can definitely feel some fatigue in my arms. That's okay, because I started writing down my numbers. I'm doing progressive overload with this training. I'm trying to keep it very basic and very simple with this training. This is week 2 of week 12, and I'm trying to get at least one more rep every single week on my top set, or at least one more pound. I mean, granted, the lightest I could probably jump is 5 pounds or 2.5 pounds, depending on what movement I'm doing. But with this right here, I did 65 last week for 8, so I'm going to try to get at least 9. So I'm just doing very simple, basic, progressive overload. Nothing crazy. I mean, I try to control it. Some things I'm doing a squeeze at the top and a slow negative, but for the most part, I'm just trying to fluently move it through every rep. If I have to cheat to get that extra rep at the end of the set, if I get stuck at 8, I'm going to pop it to get 9, because I'm trying to push my body past what it's capable of doing, so that way I can continue to progress with my results. I don't think like the 1 rep in reserve, 2 rep in reserve thing is like, I don't think there's a box for it saying like this is what is considered 1 rep or 2 reps in reserve, or this is what muscle failure is or not, or the other. Like, I think if you can still get it up or still controlling the way down, you're not quite there yet. But so currently, the way my rest periods are right now at this moment is I'm trying to do about a minute between sets. Like on my lighter sets warming up, I'll rest about 15 seconds, 45 seconds. Then on my top set, I'll try to get around like maybe a minute and a half, and then I'll go at it on my top set, because the only one I really care about right now is my top set. So it's like 3 warm-ups in 1 set, and that 1 top set is like I'm trying to, like I said, get more every single time I go at it. So a little bit more rest between the warm-up, well, a little bit more rest between the last warm-up to my set. That way I can try to push through, because I did 7 last time with the 30s. So I gotta try to get at least 8 with this.
So what's more? Okay. Like a hammer curl. Okay. You don't know what day they're coming out yet?
Probably sometime next week.
Probably Monday or Sunday. Because last year, I didn't get to get pick the war, I was over there. This one, right? Yeah.
This for me is a love-hate movement. This is the movement that I hate doing because it's just uncomfortable, but I feel this the absolute best in my rear delts, like nothing else out there. This to me is the ultimate rear delt builder, at least for my frame. So I hate them, but I love what I get out of them. So I just, man up and do it. Here's my last movement of the night. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this program super simple, super easy, pretty basic stuff, nothing crazy. But I'm going to try something different with these. Actually, I've already done the first 3 sets like this. At any time, anybody, I think, ever does shrugs, right? You either do overhand shrugs or you do like a dumbbell shrug or something. And for some reason, I had an epiphany. Like, how come I've never tried to underhand shrug it to see what that feels like? Because the rotation of the shoulder changes, the joint. I was like, what if it feels different? This pull versus this pull. Since I do deadlifts and barbell rows and all these movements here, well, what if I do this? What if that? And it does. It feels completely different. I don't know if you watch like the trapezius squeezes muscles, you know? If you watch those, like the trapezius squeezes, that's a scientific term for all you scientific people out there that are wondering what the proper name is. Just watch those. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up through my shirt or not, but we'll see if it looks like it rotates a little bit more on camera. Okay, now I'm going to do overhand, and we'll see what it looks like with the overhand, if it even shows any difference on the camera or not. See, when I do double overhand, I feel like I'm more out here like this. And whenever I do it like this, I feel like I'm more shrugging up and back. So if I do double overhand, it feels like I'm coming forward like this. But whenever I do a supinated grip, it feels like I'm shrugging actually back and up, and I'm engaging more of the trap from the shoulder up into the neck ear area is what it feels like. That's just how it feels to me, and it might just be because I'm going really light. So as I go heavier, it might change the dynamic of the movement, but it's definitely an interesting feeling. I like it because it's the same old movement, just slightly different. And I have been doing dumbbell shrugs for probably about a year and a half. I haven't done barbell shrugs, honestly, probably the whole time, probably about a year and a half. I haven't done any barbell shrugs because honestly, it racks my junk and I don't like it. Like it's right there at the perfect height where it just nails me right in the junk every time I come up, and it's just uncomfortable. So I hate doing them, but I prefer doing the Smith machine because when I had access to a Smith machine when I went to a gym, I would do behind the back shrugs and I can step away like this and I can shrug up. This is my favorite shrug, coming behind the back like this and being able to shrug up. This is my favorite shrug on a Smith machine because you could go wide and shrug up here, or you could come narrow and go right behind your back and shrug up. And it feels so amazing. It is, I think, one of the best shrug variations you could do, better than a barbell, better than a dumbbell. I think that is the ultimate because I feel you get a bigger range of motion and nothing's in the way. And it's controlled, it's on a rack. You can just focus on pulling and squeezing, not stabilizing and where it's hitting you at or your grip or anything else like that. I just feel it's a much better variation of the shrug, but I don't have access to a Smith machine in my garage. But we've been talking about getting one. It's in the works, we're talking about it. So hopefully here in the next couple months, we can actually pull the trigger and get one, hopefully. If not, it is what it is. But this is pretty close. Doing underhand in front of me, it's pretty close to what that Smith machine feels like. So I've never really had a problem with my traps either. So that's never really been a concern. My traps have never been a trouble issue. But then again, I've always been doing like deadlifts and barbell rows and T-bar rows and upright rows and all kinds of stuff that involves them and shoulder press. So it's not really like a big issue for me, but I still like doing shrugs. They just feel good. Okay, so that's it for the video, guys, for my workouts. Pretty simple, pretty basic.